Now it's going to show us our Piazza class page. And the Piazza page is going to look like this when you set up the very first time. And this is just a screenshot. If you went to Piazza as an external window, it would look exactly the same. CTools just puts that Piazza window inside the CTools environment. That is all. We go down and we take a look at the options here. What you'll see is a window for enrolling your students right here. And this is, again, we talked about the projected enrollment. You can see down here that the projected enrollment is the 38 that I put in from the last page. And you can enroll your students and put their list of their emails in the page. I actually choose to have my students self-enroll because I have Piazza as an option for my class that they can participate in or not. I'll show you how to do that a little bit later on. Then it asks you if there are TAs or other instructors in your course. If you click on yes here, then you can enroll those, and I usually enroll my GSIs in my course or any other co-instructors just by simply adding their emails there. And then you can set up your course page. You can put a course description, syllabus, and office hours. This is a function in Piazza that acts almost like CTools, and I usually don't use the course page in Piazza. I use Piazza exclusively for the question answer discussion type material. In fact, let's go to the course page. If we click on the tabs up top, you'll see a Q&A tab, a course page, and a manage class tab. The course page takes you to the CTools-like information where you can add a syllabus up top, and you can put in course information. You can put in a description, very similar to the one you would have added to CTools. You set up your course there. You can go to staff and put in office hours, which sometimes I will do in Piazza since Piazza is a question answer student help type environment. There's also a resource tab where you can add homework solutions, lecture notes, other resources, and I typically use my CTools resource page for this. We're going to go back up. And again, you can put in a description of your class, any announcements, and general information. And I don't use Piazza for this kind of information, particularly since I have my students self-enroll and it's not a mandatory enrollment. I use CTools for that and Piazza as an external resource. You can go to the Manage Your Class page. And the Manage Your Class tab up top has, if we go down to the bar here, has general settings, customize Q&A, manage enrollment, create groups, and customize course page. And this is really a list of the features you'll see as you go down the page. The first one is general settings here. The next is customize Q&A, which you'll see down here is Q&A settings. If you go up top, manage enrollment, here's enroll professors and TAs or enroll students. So your categories up at the top become tabs for the page as you go down. So let's talk about setting up this kind of information. This is the page you should pay attention to. We have course number and course name. We have the term. We have the course start date. And I'll usually put in a start date that matches up with the start date for the semester. And if you have created your page through CTools, CTools will automatically put the first day of the term as the course start date. Two very important links here under the course start date. The first is the sign up link. And this is what students can click on if they decide to enroll in the course to self-enroll. Let's take a look at the Manage Class page. The Manage Class page in Piazza allows you to change the things highlighted in the bar underneath the top tabs. The general settings, customizing the Q&A, managing enrollment, creating groups, and customizing the course page. You can click on any of these tabs and it'll take you down the page. Here's the Q&A settings. Underneath that, as we scroll down, you'll see we're in the enroll professors and TA, and that matches up with manage enrollment. So you can use the bar across the top to scroll down to the appropriate place on the page. Let's go through back up to the general settings, the very top. Your course number and course name are here. And if for some reason you set up your Piazza page ahead of time, before you decided to link it to CTools, this is where you go to change your course name to make it match the course name in CTools. The term comes next. The start date, it goes in as the first day of fall semester. And then two very important links are next. Very important. The first is the sign up link. The sign up link is the URL you want to give to your students. You want to pasted into your syllabus, put it on the course page. They click on this link, and that's where they can go to sign up for your specific course in Piazza. The class link is the one that I put on my C-Tools site. So I'll take my class link right here, and this links them to the URL for the homepage for your course site. And I will actually take this class link and I will copy it. And then I will go actually to my resources page, and then often under my resources, what I will do is I will add a resource. And so I'll come over here to resources and I'll add a web link right here, add a web link URL, and I'll put in the URL right here. And then I'll put in the website name as Piazza. And then you can add the web link. And what that will do is that will add a link to Piazza right here, where students can click directly on that when they're in C-Tools and go to their Piazza site. Next are there TA instructors in your course? Usually I'll click here, yes, and then I will enroll them further down. And then instructor self-sign-up. I want to enable other instructors to sign up for the course if that's necessary. And then class status is active. And you want to make sure when you're done that you save any changes that you made. Down here, the next kind of set of settings is your Q&A settings. The Q&A settings bar is a really interesting one and one you want to think about how you want to use. This will allow students to post anonymously. You can enable that or you can disable it. It allows students to send private posts, so they can send a post just to use the instructor that other students in the course won't see. And then there's a question about syntax highlighting using the HTML tags. And you can either enable it if you would like to have formatting in the text, probably more important for science and math classes, and you can disable it if you just want regular text and you find that the HTML tags would be distracting. I usually set it up so I allow my students to post anonymously. That said, I will always warn them that this is a privilege and it comes with responsibility, and that if they abuse the privilege of posting anonymously and post things that are inappropriate or post things off topic, that I can take the privilege away. And you can do that from an individual student, or you can do that from the class as a whole. Private post I've enabled in the past. I don't particularly like them because most of the time when a student posts a private post, it's something that's relevant to the whole class. So I would probably disable that and have students, since they can post anonymously, post to the entire class. And then I enable the syntax highlighting. Again, make sure you save your changes when you're done. The next is the class folders. The class folders are what saves my class in terms of organization, because I have many problems and many assignments and it's really hard to keep them straight. I want to make it as easy as possible for students to find their question if it's already been posted, or if they have a question they're going to post, to put it somewhere where other students can find it. So you can keep the default folders that they give you, which is this list right here. You'll see them highlighted there in the blue, or you can edit them. Or you can disable it altogether. If you don't have a lot of material, you're going to use Piazza for one specific purpose, function, or assignment where there's not a lot of information that'll be on there. I always edit it. I go in, and there are custom folders down here. There's project, exam, logistics, and others. You can remove them. I'm going to remove the project folder because I don't particularly have one for my course. I'm going to remove the exam folder. I have multiple exams, so one exam folder is not particularly helpful. I usually leave logistics and others on there because other is kind of a default. If they're not sure where to put it, that's a good place to solve other questions. And students have to select a folder when they post a question. It's mandatory if you're using folders. For homeworks, I have a lot of little homeworks, and you can keep the homework tab and then come up here and edit it. Tell them how many homeworks you're going to have. I actually have close to 40 homeworks. I have a mini homework with each lecture. I have 40 lectures. I usually don't put up all 40 homework folders at the beginning of the term. I'll maybe put up 20 for the first half. So that's only 20 folders they have to filter through if they have 40. What's going to happen is when I hit the 20 button, you notice down here, there's now homework 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up through 20. So that's a lot of folders to sort through because I'm going to create some other folders for some other things. I usually have a folder. You can choose a topic from here. I usually have a lecture folder, and I just do one lecture folder because there are not that many questions about lecture, and I can put all their questions about a lecture in that folder. And then I do have midterm exams. I have 4 of those, so I'm going to create 4 folders there. And then I'm going to actually come down here to the bottom. The last folder I need to create has a name that is not on the list that I see here that's given. So I can create my own. I call my practice exams prep problems. So I'm going to say prep is the name of my folder. And since we have 4 midterm exams, there are 4 sets of practice exams. So you can put 4 there, and you add 4 prep folders. It does default to all lowercase, but that's not that big of a deal. And you'll see now down here in the folder preview all the folders I've created. There's homework 1 through 20. There's a folder for lecture questions, midterm exam 1, 2, 3, 4, and practice exams, which I call prep, 1, 2, 3, 4, and logistics and others. Now, I want to make sure I save my changes. And I can go back in and change and edit these at any time. As the semester goes on, I'll add my other 20 homework folders, and I will go in and I will add my final exam folder. So I'll put a practice exam up for that and final exam questions. And you can add and remove those. The homeworks, they do have to be numbered 1 through 20. They're numbered sequentially. You can't skip numbers and have a homework 1, 3, 4, 5, 12. They won't skip numbers, so you either got one number or you got them all on there. So that's how you customize your question and answer section if you have multiple assignments that you have multiple questions on. If we go down here to the next set of material, the Manage Enrollment section, that's where you can enroll other instructors or TAs or GSIs. And I will usually add instructors. And so you have to enter their email address here in this box. So you would do that, and they'll add the other instructors. Those instructors, GSIs, or other faculty, will receive an email notifying that they've been enrolled in the course. You can enroll students down here, this bottom window, enrolling students. You can put them in, you can add students, and you can delete them later. Again, I don't self-enroll students. I let them pick if they choose they want to participate in it, but you could copy and paste their email addresses into that window and enroll them. And then this next section is to enable group-based discussion. So you can create subgroups within your course. This is for courses with multiple sections. For example, you have a large lecture course with discussion sections. You can create discussion groups if you want, or a GSI might decide to use Piazza for their particular discussion section to talk about the problems maybe they've covered in discussion. And so you can create subgroups. You can do it for some or all of the class, but that's where you would go to work on creating subgroups within your class. And then last but not least, there is the course page settings. We're customizing the course page. You might recall the course page allowed you to do homework announcement. It's very CTools-like in terms of resources. It's not a page I particularly use because, again, I'm not mandating all my students to go there. I have the resources in other places. So I usually take and unclick everything and then save those changes. And what I'm doing by unclicking is I'm taking it off of material that's publicly available. There's no reason to make something that's not there publicly available. So that's how you would set up your class. If we go back to the top, we've gone through now the whole page, we've gone through each of these tabs here.